Hi friends, welcome to another RedditRev episode. Please subscribe and hit that like button if you're enjoying the content, and please share it with your friends if you can. I'd really appreciate it. Also, please leave me a comment to let me know what you think of the episode. Now let's get started with today's stories.
I can't stop torturing myself with thoughts of my wife's infidelity. I've been with my wife for over 7 years and married for 2. We have 2 kids, a house, and the whole 9 yards. This fall, I decided to get a second job to support our family financially because our living expenses were a little out of hand. I talked to her about it prior to getting it and she agreed at first, but when the reality sank in, she tried to talk me out of it. The thing that bothers me is that prior to me getting this job, I had this sinking feeling that she was going to cheat on me. She proved me right. After a few months, I noticed that we have been getting out of love off and on, and eventually I started to notice a pattern of behavior that would lead me to start getting suspicious. She began hiding her phone or always keeping it on hand, and she began locking the door on me, first sign, I know, while she slept with the kids to get them to sleep. For a while I had a feeling something was off, but I figured she hasn't done anything wrong. It wasn't until October when I tried to get into the room they were sleeping in on the days I returned home from my second job, and every chance that I had to get in, she would wake up, and other times she would have the phone hidden under her pillow or someplace I couldn't access. She started to make up time and sometimes ask me what time I was coming home or where along the route I was at when on the commute from my day job back home when I was off during my second. She would also spontaneously leave for work early, far earlier than usual. Eventually, I started to be really worried. I know that I was fairly inattentive since I was working 2 jobs and also going to school, but she would tell me time and time again that she wishes I was more affectionate towards her, and instead of being reasonable, I found myself getting offended and lashing out at her. Maybe it was the stress of it all, but I knew that wasn't the way to solve anything. Late October, while I was getting off of my day job, we had a heart-to-heart conversation about me being more affectionate, and I listened to what she had to say and told her I am going to change, and to be honest, I did. I started doodling for her, compliments aplenty, and I would surprise her with breakfast and other things from time to time. I thought I was making headway, but she kept pushing me away. She would take really long baths and sometimes wouldn't come to bed to lay next to me. Come November, I tell her that we never sit down to talk about our feelings and work things out, but she told me that she was tired of me always going back to my old ways of being nice to her and then treating her like shit, again probably the stress. We left it at that, and she still did her usual secretive things. Then Thanksgiving came. I had to work that day, so I worked for a few hours and then came back home in the afternoon and got dressed for the Thanksgiving dinner that night. I met her in the restroom and held her tightly and told her that I missed her so much. She didn't seem very affectionate back. Thanksgiving dinner went okay. The food was good, but she was in a bad mood the first 30 minutes or so we were there, but it got a bit better. I eventually had to retire early for the night so I could work on Black Friday the next morning, so I kissed her goodbye and took our son home with me so I could get him to sleep. After he went to sleep, I for some reason couldn't sleep. I kept tossing and turning, but I just wasn't having it. Eventually I fell asleep, but I woke up to the chime of the door for when she came in. I was so happy to lay down next to her. I was holding her and she pushed me away as usual and told me she was on her period and to leave her alone. So I did. But I had to look at her phone that night. Something told me that I just had to. I had to finagle it out from under her hip, and she noticed it was missing and started to reach for her phone trying to find it. I dropped it under the bed so she wouldn't find it immediately and just waited for her to give up and go to sleep since she was tired. It was around 12 or so when she did. When I was comfortable enough with her sleeping, I decided to look through her phone. What I saw ruined me. The entire Thanksgiving day, she was talking to the guy she was cheating on me with. Telling him how she dreamt of him, how she loved him, how she wanted him to hold her, and very vulgar sexual things. I fucking died. I couldn't believe that this was actually happening to me and that this wasn't the person that I married, but there was no mistaking it. It was her. I thought for a minute on how to deal with it, and I decided to wake her up to confront her. I told her that I couldn't believe that she would do this to me and screamed at her. I asked her how many times they had sex, and all she would admit to me that day was that she gave him a blowjob for a few seconds and that was it. I didn't believe her. I eventually spent the entire Black Friday with the thoughts of what they did behind my back while I was at work. I didn't have for one moment a chance to process what happened. It was my own personal hell that I would wish on no man. Eventually we made up a bit after a few days and she opened up to me about some of the things they did together, and the things she told me crushed me, but I was kind of appreciative that she was being somewhat honest with me. We had sex every day for the next few days after that. I felt like I had to reclaim her in some barbaric way. The sex was fantastic, but I couldn't help but feel that there was more that she wasn't letting on. I obsessed over it. It consumed me and I wouldn't stop asking her exactly what happened. She was very dodgy about what days they met, how many times they met, what they did. It just seemed like I got a different answer every time, so naturally I started to snoop. It wasn't until I saw the call logs that I realized that this had been going on for over a month, and I confronted her, but she insisted that at the time in mid-October, they were just friends. I wasn't having it. Which leads me to today. Today, I decided to just give it one more go. I came up with the idea to ask her once more if she had anything to tell me. I had my phone on hand the entire time because I was playing on the fact that I knew they made some videos of the two of them doing sexual things, which she claimed was the one blowjob. I must have put one hell of a show because she finally fessed up to me. She had sex with him on more than one occasion. She lied to me about him not seeing her naked. She lied to me about not having sex with him. She lied to me about him not French kissing her. She just lied. I was distraught. I lashed out at her again and treated her so fucking disrespectfully that I wish could take everything back. She has told me that she does love me and that she wants to work things out. But I can't help but feel like she will betray me again. I asked her why she cheated on me on several occasions, and each time she says that she doesn't know. That I didn't give her a reason to cheat on me. I told my doctor today that she had an affair and that I want to seek counseling for myself and then marriage counseling with her. I still love her. I can't bear the thought of her leaving me, but the betrayal is eating at me. I keep torturing myself with images of them being intimate with one another and doing things that only she and I could do. I intend to seek counseling. But in the interim, I can't find a way to get over this. It's destroying me. How can I try to move past this? She says that she loves me, but I can't get over the fact that I constantly have to try to go behind her back to find out the truth. She had no intention of ending the affair. She says to me that she is glad that she got caught and that she regrets everything. She wants to make amends and stay with me. My heart aches so.
I hope you enjoyed our video. It's always a pleasure creating these stories, and if you liked what you saw, please take the time to show your support by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing if you haven't already done so. Sharing with your friends is also greatly appreciated. Let me know in the comments section below what you think of our videos. I'm all ears. Be sure to check back soon for more original Reddit stories every day on RedditRev. Until then, stay awesome, my friend.